Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dela's Voice. I'm so ecstatic to have my next guest today. He is an awesome business coach, and I'm so glad that we get to have this conversation. This is not a conversation I often have on Dela's Voice, but one I think that a lot of people are going to benefit from. So, my guest today is Amit Ambega Ankar. I practiced his last name so many times and I swore I said it right. I'm going to give it one more try. I'm Begonkar. I think that's better. Sorry about that, Amit. I know I asked you a couple of times. He's a best-selling author. He is a speaker and he's a transformational business coach. He is also a husband and a father. In my book, he is a superhero um, with superpowers. And his superpower is that he took his success in his business and now he's helping other people achieve more. He's showing them easier ways on how to achieve success in their businesses. So it is my absolute pleasure to get to know this man, Amit, and bring him on Dela's Voice so that he can share his knowledge and his superpower with the rest of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Amit Ambegankar on Dela's Voice. Hi.
Hello. Wow, what an introduction, Della. Thank you for that.
I tried. I messed up on your last name. I'm so sorry, even
That's
though I
okay.
tried.
You did your best. I think you did pretty good. So that was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for being here. I so appreciate it. I love your office.
Thank you.
It puts mine to shame. It's beautiful.
No, it's nice just to be out there. We get these 2 3 months, and I make the most out of it. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you and your wife, the lovely Swapna, you do amazing work. Also
thank you.
bringing light to people who are impacting the world in their daily endeavors. And so I really appreciate what you do as well. And so with that, I just want to jump into this, but I also want to encourage everybody who's watching to please let us know if they have any comments, any questions. Amit has a wide based knowledge on business. And so this is your chance to get some free advice, some free coaching on business. So don't
Yes.
hesitate. And share this program so that other people who you think might benefit from the information offered here could also enjoy. So, Amit, with that, please tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, where you come from, how you got here. Thank you so much.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. So I started off in a different profession altogether, believe it or not. Right now I have my expertise in business consulting and coaching, and I have programs that I run for entrepreneurs and small business owners. But I actually started I have a background in healthcare. So me and Swapna, my wife, who are working in this business together right now, we both started from the same background in healthcare as registered physiotherapists. And coming from that background, what we used to help clients get better with their pain and with stroke clients and all sorts of physical ailments that people had. And as we went on to help people from their physical barriers and limitations that they have, more to these physical barriers that people are facing. There are some more things that need to be addressed for an individual for them to get out of their pain, get out of their fear, and actually be successful. And we were always interested in the personal development area, and we ventured a lot in we went through a lot of coaches and mentoring sessions ourselves to understand how to actually gain success. And when we started to learn that, it was such a new world that was being exposed to us, that we started getting intrigued by it more and more and more. And the more success we got ourselves, the more we could help our clients, we could help our patients. And that's how this whole idea of business actually started. That we started to talk to a lot of people at that point of time and a lot of entrepreneurs. and I was interested in a couple of fields. Like entrepreneurship has been always there with me. I was always interested in business. So even this healthcare business, I started it off as a business also. And seeing the success that I was getting, people started to approach me to understand what am I doing, like how am I exactly carrying out my business for it to be successful. And in the beginning, I just started talking to them. I just shared my vision and how I'm doing it, and these are the steps that I'm taking. And they started asking me, okay, can you give us more? This is amazing. This is working. This is actually working. And I said, yeah, sure. And they said, you have a program. I said, I didn't have a program. I'm just helping you as a friend. And then just it grew from there, and people were not just happy getting tits and bits, sort of small little bits from me. They wanted the whole thing. So that's when this whole business idea was born, and that's where I started to come up with different programs in order to give people a complete solution. And that's how we ventured. Like 2015, 2016, we came up with our own programs, and they've been running for the past 5 years very successfully.
It's so wonderful to hear you say this because I think about people who are perhaps working in a job that they don't like, and they've
Yes.
stuck and they don't see a way out. And so they're just waiting it out to get to that retirement age. And they're always saying, oh, I'll do what I love when I retire from my job.
Right. Oh my God. Yes.
What a sad story. And so I want to ask you, what is your take on that? And first of all, if there was a couple of characteristics of what a person who potentially could be an entrepreneur, is there such a thing? If someone's listening to this and think, I wonder if I'm the entrepreneurial type, what would you say to that?
Yeah, that's actually very important to understand. And if you are stuck, if any person is stuck in this sort of cycle of it's also called as a rat race sometimes, right? Like you're working Monday to Friday, you're just waiting for that Friday to show up so that you get 2 days where you don't have to do what you were doing for the first 5 days of the week. It's not the best situation to be in. You definitely need to do some changes, and that's what we decided to do. I mean, when we were going through this cycle ourselves, and we said, no, there is more to life than just working hard Monday to Friday for enjoying just the Saturday Sunday and getting to that Monday morning feeling again. And we now try to help entrepreneurs get out of that rat race, because the reason why it is difficult for a lot of people is because there is something called as a comfort zone. There is something called as a comfort zone where people are really, really comfortable.
Yeah,
Yes.
horrible.
And
Yes.
to break out of that comfort zone, that is actually the real barrier.
Mm.
That is the real barrier. So you do need courage, and you need things that you should know, and you should know how to do a business and all that. That's there. That will follow later on. But the first barrier that people have is they need to have that courage. They need to have that determination that, yes, I'm going to go outside of my comfort zone and then do some things that I really love to do, that I like to do, right? But if a person is employed somewhere, they're getting their benefits, they're getting their paycheck every 2 weekly, and they're okay with what they have, right? I mean, you must have heard this from other leaders also, where they say, good is actually the enemy of excellent,
Say again,
right?
I
Good,
lost you for a little
good.
bit.
Yeah, so good is the enemy of excellent,
Yes.
right? So if a person is good, oh yeah, I'm doing good, but you're not doing excellent.
Yes.
And if you want to stay there, then that's your decision. That's perfect. There's nothing wrong with being in that area. But if you're worried, or if you are not happy, if you're still complaining that, oh my God, I want to be excellent, then there's something that needs to be done about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yes.
that's the first step, to recognize that you're actually in a comfort zone, and for you to grow out of that comfort zone is the first step.
So I heard that un, in order to get out of your comfort zone, you have to be uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly,
Does that
exactly.
resonate with you?
Yes, because it's not easy. I mean, how much ever you've probably heard some things about entrepreneurship. People have heard so much things about business, but the problem is not limited information. The problem is actually too much information, right? There is so much that goes in this media world right now in terms of what we're seeing online. So information overload is more of a problem than actually just information. So a person who's trying to get into entrepreneurship or looking into options what to get into, it's not like they don't know what to do, because there is no one thing. The problem is there are too many things that they can do, and that's why they say, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So it's not that when they're saying that I don't know what to do, essentially it's not saying that I don't know what to do in terms of one thing, because there are so many things that they can do. That's why they are not able to decide what is the one thing that they should pick and run with it.
So what do
That's
you
the
suggest, Amit?
Say that again.
What do you suggest?
That's a great question.
Because, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, someone's there listening to this program, and perhaps they're thinking, yeah, I think I would like that. I would like to start something of my own. I would like to be my own boss, because that isn't that ultimately that is such a great incentive to be your own boss.
Exactly,
They
exactly.
don't know, but they don't know. So where do they start? I mean,
So the important thing is there are two things that you should start with. There are two things. Okay, first important thing that you should start to look at is what is your real expertise. What is your really expertise? What are you really good at? And it's not something that you have some information. It's not something that I kind of know that area, but you really know that area. Like you're a master of that area, right? And second avenue, the second aspect that you should look at is what is the need and want for what you are an expert at. What is the need and the want for what you are expert at? Because you might be expert, you might be really good at something, but if people don't want that particular thing, especially right now because things are changing so fast, then it doesn't really matter what you're good at, right? Does that make sense?
yes, it makes total sense.
Now,
Yes.
if you have something that you are amazing at, and if you've identified that, oh my God, there are people who actually will benefit a lot from what you are expert at, then you've got a winning combination. That's a very good point to start.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, the problem happens when you are good at something. So you start a business, you start, oh my God, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I want to, sort of be my own boss. I want to decide my own hours. So generally, entrepreneurship usually starts with that idea that I want to do what I want to do based on the hours that I want to decide. And I want to do this because I'm good at it. Okay, and that's a good start. But if you don't recognize if there is a need or a want for that product or that's something that you're going to do, then you're almost setting yourself up for failure,
Hmm. Yes.
right? So it's very critical that you identify the other area for need and want. It's almost I can say that the need and want are actually more important than what your expertise is.
Gotcha.
Okay, this is really important because I'm teaching you I'm sharing something that 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 your audience may not like in terms of entrepreneurship, but this is really important for them to know.
Yes, because you
Okay.
know what I'm thinking now. It's like, so where does our passions come into the picture? Because I may be passionate about doing something. I may be passionate about making paper airplanes, but there's no
Yes,
need for it in the market, right? So then,
exactly.
okay. So tell me, I mean, if someone's interested to find information about a niche market, where are some places they can go do some research?
Well, there is the best one of the best sites and tools that they can go to is everything is available online. You just need to know what area that you want to go to. Now, one of the strategy that I can share with you right now is whichever thing that you are interested in doing, and we talked about these two things, and you're trying to get these things together. Look at your competition. Look at who's doing what you actually want to do. Okay, because there is so much information about. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are people already doing that. So what you need to do is you need to actually either start to follow them, or sign up for their newsletters, or sign up for their sort of email list, whatever you want to do. But see what they're doing and how successful they really are, right? Because once you start to understand what's available out there for people as an option to your services, then that also will give you an idea of how your business can be structured. Okay, so I'll give you an example. If you are specifically, let's say a mortgage broker, right? If you want to start your business as a mortgage broker and you just graduated from school, and oh my god, now you've got a license to be a mortgage agent, right? And you are full of energy and you are ready to go. Oh my god, Amit, I can work 8 hours a day in addition to the regular job I'm doing. Tell me what to do, right? And though they may have the knowledge, they may have passed the test, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I wouldn't say even tip of the iceberg. That's you know. So the real thing that they should start looking at is what's available for people out there right now. Okay, and they should really start to look at these two aspects where they are expert at, right? So this particular person can say, you know what, yeah, what's available right now out there is people who do commercial mortgages, for example, right? There are people who do residential mortgages in a specific area, and then you can look at other areas where people are doing specific type of properties, right? So they might be doing, say, multiplex properties, or they might be doing only residential properties. And once you look at all that picture, and then you say, oh my god, I am amazing at doing, say, mortgages for specific industrial areas, right? Or say, oh, you know what, I'm doing amazingly with specific mortgages with a specific type of a lender, right? So you pick that particular area depending on what your competition is and what your own expertise is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Okay.
then you start your journey. Okay, that's the area, that's the niche that you've selected now, and now you go and become you almost yourself, you're branding yourself in that area now as that particular expert.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Now, we're in business. We're starting a business. I know what I'm good at, and I know what my expertise is at, and I know that there's demand for this. Okay. Now I go and start my business. Maybe I even open up an office, or whatever. And then the idea, really, I think, and most people start business dreaming that, okay, I'm going to open my business, and then the flock of people are going to pour in because they're going to want my services, right? And
Yes.
reality hits, right?
Yes.
So, in your opinion, first of all, what is the importance of staying patient? What is the importance of staying put? And also, if you have any key tools that you can leave people with.
Yes. So this is a very, very good question, Della. Thank you for asking this question, because this is going to help the listeners a lot. So when you start off a business, and this is something that you've decided to do, you know what your product is, and you've sort of started to put in the number of hours that are required. But now we start to look at the business part of it, right? It's the product. So the product that you actually create is only, and this is crazy, but this is the actual reality, is less than 10% of the actual business success. Okay,
I
so
believe
what
it.
am I, it's crazy, I know.
But it's true,
But
isn't it?
you will see all the, like, some of the top brands. Even if you consider some of the top brands, it's not necessarily they have the best product. Okay, they don't have the best product, like, so for example, McDonald's, right? McDonald's is a $1 billion industry. Like, just McDonald's is a $1 billion industry, but that does not mean that the burgers that McDonald's sells is the best burgers that you can ever find. Right? So it's very important for you to recognize that the product, but they do have something which is amazing that none of their competition has, right? So they have a business model which works, right? They have this amazing service that you walk in or you drive to a McDonald's, and in less than 2 minutes, a fresh burger is put into your hands with Coke and fries and blah blah blah, whatever you want. I mean, that's the level of service that's available.
Yeah, and
Okay, so
it's
they have
amazing,
something that they have actually mastered.
right? Sorry to interrupt you, but like just
Yes,
on that, you can have the same service, the same hamburger in America, and you can have exactly the same thing in Japan. It's just
yeah,
mind-boggling, right? And served to you by
yes,
16-year-olds. So that's
yes,
good structure, right?
absolutely, absolutely. They have that system so figured out, and they've nailed it. right? They've nailed it. That's the reason for their success. So when generally people think, oh, you know what, my product itself is so amazing that everybody's going to buy it.
Mhm.
Well, that's not the real thing. That's just a good beginning. That's a very good start, actually, but that's not the whole business. Okay, so when we talk about the business, there are 7 areas that you need to develop in your business. So if you don't know about these 7 areas, if you're not familiar how to structure your business in all the 7 areas, then it's very difficult to sort of build your business on it. Right?
So
Does
we're
that make
taking
sense?
notes. People, yes, grab your notepads. Okay, this is the golden stuff. So grab your pens. I mean, before we start, is it okay if we say hi to some people that are watching us
Yes,
on Facebook?
sure.
Dr. PPP is watching. Your lovely wife Swapna is watching. Leslie, hi. Tracy Fines is watching. Wonderful businesswoman herself. Steve Harris, Leo, Rosa Rago. Hi, everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for joining us today as we listen to Amit on some amazing tools in achieving success in our businesses. So, seven, you were going to give us 7 tools. So, I'm all ears. Amit.
Okay, okay. So these they're very elaborate tools. So what I'll give you the 3 most important ones that are required to just get started. Just to get you started, these are the 3 tools that you would need. The first thing that any business needs is a proper administrative area, a proper administrative. So that includes, your legal stuff, your brand name, your website stuff, your business name, your corporation, whatever you want to set it up, all the legalities and the documentation part of it. Okay. The second part, which is important, is the sales and marketing part of it. The sales and marketing. Okay, so you need to really have an amazing sales and marketing part, and these are two totally different areas in business. So though you will see a lot of people saying it together, sales and marketing, which is a very good thing to do, but when we look at execution of it, sales and marketing are two totally different areas in businesses, right? So if you merge them together, it's a mess.
Yes.
Okay, so they have to be treated differently when you're talking about execution of each component in a business. Okay, and the third part, which is also a very integral part of the business, is looking at the quality of the products that are being created.
So,
The
kind of like quality control.
Yes, yes, quality control. So how is the flow of that's happening in your business? You started with just the basic 3 areas. You're looking at the first, administration, you're looking sales and marketing, and the third is where we're looking at the quality of service or quality of the products that the clients are receiving.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you just start with your business, the first thing you start with looking at these 3 areas, and again, individual area also has some other areas that you need to look at, but just looking at it broadly, 3 are the minimum areas that you should know exactly how to operate and exactly what is the end result of each and every area that you want to create in your business.
And they're all super, super important because I'm looking at, I mean, proper administration, sales, marketing, quality control, and if any of those areas suffer, the whole entire business will suffer.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So
So
they,
they're
they
all linked to one another. They're all linked to another, and there is a flow. And what you will find is, if the business is not running properly, and if you come back to any of these, we talked about 3, but like I said, there is 7. But if you can actually identify which area in your business is actually not doing good,
Mhm.
so you don't have to be confused about, oh my God, what should I do? You just look at all the 7 areas of your business and you say, okay, this area is not doing good because this product was not created correctly, right? This was not done correctly. So only have to address that particular area in your business, and that's it. You'll see your business skyrocketing.
Wow. And so many businesses suffer because they are totally oblivious to one or more of these areas, right? I mean,
100%.
you start your business and you think that's it. I'm set for life.
Yes.
What's the statistics? I mean, how many, what, one in how many businesses, or whatever the statistics are, what are they of success rate in
So
business?
80% of businesses do not see their second anniversary.
Ah, that's so sad.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny that you say that, because when I started to study businesses, I looked at the statistics and I was exactly what you said. I was really sad. And I said, oh my God, 80%. So my success rate is only 20% of me being successful. But what I did is very interesting. What I did is I stopped looking at the 80%, and I channelized my entire attention on the 20%.
Ah,
And I said, you know what? All what I have to do is I have to study these 20% people, because I don't have to look at all those 100 people anymore. I just do exactly what these 20% people did, follow exactly what they did, study what they did, and boom, that's it. I'll be successful.
that, yeah, you're right. You're right. And so, if you're just joining us, we're talking about what it takes to succeed in business with Amit, who is a transformational business coach. Now, I want to ask you what that means exactly. So, you're a transformational business coach. What does that mean?
So, what that really means is we transform your business from where it is to where you want it to be. That's all the transformation is all about. So some of the people that come to us, they are into different businesses, but they're always looking for expansion. They're always looking for expansion. They may have a business that is making, say, $50,000 a year, but they want to make, say, $500,000 a year, right? So their business has to undergo some form of changes that make that business pro survival. Okay, so that the business starts to survive. And by survive, there's a totally different definition I use for survival. It's actually thriving for progress. Okay, so it's not about just barely making it. That's not what survival in my dictionary is, right? It's thriving for progress. So you really have to look at your business and look at expansion as the only way that your business should go. And that's what transformation is all about. So depending on how big your business is, how small your business is, I work with the business owner and I work with the entrepreneur specifically to develop some strategies and applying these specific principles so that they get the level of success that they want to create in their business. So it's a very intensive program. Some of the programs that I run are online 6-week training programs, right? So these are smaller programs. I do a lot of free training also. Every week I do about half an hour to 90 minutes free trainings for entrepreneurs. And it's basically, if anyone is interested, they can just go to my website, yourprofoundsolutions.com, and get this information when my next training is happening. But I just share some of the strategies that are working for businesses right now in this particular generation, this particular era, right, this particular period, and they can start to get some nuggets right by listening to these free seminars. And then I offer something which is in terms of helping people expand their businesses. And that's where I teach these strategies, but not just teach you in terms of this is it, go and do it, but I actually work with the clients. I say, all right, that's your business. What do you actually need to do? Let's get that done, right? And then, of course, the higher level, the more association that they need, the more help they need from me, I'm available to help them actually grow to whatever level they want to grow.
That's exciting. I want to
Yes,
ask
thank you.
you a question, and I know you know the answer. So there's lots of people who have businesses running, but there's a big difference between a self-employed person and a business owner. And do you know what I mean? Someone
Yes,
who owns a business, or a businessman or a businesswoman. What is
right.
what are those differences?
So the main difference that you need to understand, that it's to me, it's not even being a businessman versus a self-employed, because I've seen businessmen, so to say, if you call them, they've started their own business, so now they have their brand name established and all that. But if you are working in your business and you're making the amount of money that you're making just based on the work that you're doing, for me, it's same like being self-employed, right? Because what a self-employed person is maybe they are on a contract. So they are on a contract for delivering so much product or service for so many hours, right? That's essentially what a self-employed would mean. But if you start your own business, though you might have a corporate name, though you might have a website, you may have been established yourself as a business, but if you don't have any leverage in your business, if you're still sort of making the income based on the number of hours that you're putting in your business, then you need to look at your business and see if it's really a business or you're just employed by your own business. That's it.
I can so resonate with that, Amit, and that's a big roadblock, isn't it?
Huge, huge.
So what?
Because
What? Yeah. What? Go ahead, please.
yes, because
Thinking out
it's see,
loud.
the differentiation between that is so subtle that when you talk about this question, being self-employed versus business, this is a really important question because just having a business name or just having a website makes you a businessman for sure. Now you have a corporation that you own and all that. But technically speaking, if you don't have the leverage, then you're still kind of self-employed with your own company.
Hmm.
And once you start to look at, when I stop working, my business, which is, the corporate name, is not making any income,
Hmm.
right? So technically, if you go to see, the reality of it is you're self-employed. Now the employer has changed from where in the self-employed model, it was some XYZ company. Now it's your own company,
Yes.
right? So there is very minimal advantage. There is still some advantages, but there is very minimal advantages of running a business that way.
What does it take for a person to step over that threshold of changing their mindset from self-employed to to running a proper business?
So
What does?
the most important thing that they should start looking at is setting up systems in their business.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing. So if they start looking at how the business flow is, how does actually one work? Like how do they actually get a client? When the client comes in, what are they following through? How often are they going to teach this client? How often are they going to serve this client? How are they starting to get the follow up in place for this client? Because once that flow is established in their business, once they know exactly how the client is going to be treated, and it could be a service based product that you have, or it might be a physical product that you're shipping out, it's essentially the same thing when you're looking at the whole structure of your organization.
Mhm.
Unless you have that identified in your business, you're actually not running a business.
Yes, yes. So going back to McDonald's model of operating their business, because they have those structures in place, those systems in place, that's how they can run so smoothly by teenagers, right, without any trouble. And
100%.
right? So
Yep.
I'm thinking, I mean, as a business owner, well, I should so say as a self-employed person now, the difference. Yes, I am. I have a big, huge roadblock in my way because I don't have those systems in place, and so um, and I want to ask you to be so honestly speaking, what are some things, some mindset changes that you have noticed that prevents people from switching?
Yes. So one of the change that people need to do in terms of changing their mindset is knowing exactly what they want, knowing exactly what they want. So the entrepreneur that I would work with, first thing is I would address what is exactly they are doing. Why are they doing that? What's their intention behind doing it? Right? Because if they don't know their exact why, if they are not able to tell me, oh, I'm doing this business, or I decided to be an entrepreneur because I wanted to achieve this, or my goal in 5 years is to achieve that, then that's the first thing that they need to work in. Like what product they want to select, how niche and what brand name they want, and all that. That all comes later on in the program. But first of all, if you don't know what you're initially, why are you doing what you're doing, then that's the best place to start.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'll give you an example. If a person has a goal best case scenario is that I love to travel and I want to go around the world seeing different places, and I want to speak at other people's stages and all that. If that's the program that you want to follow, if that's the lifestyle that you want to have, then you need to start to look at businesses that will allow you to do that, right? In other words, if you have another idea that I want to speak on stages locally, or I want to help people in my local community, or you know what, I want to have my own shop here that I'm going to supply these goods. That's what I see myself doing in 5 years. Then we need to look at your entire business model and work with you to actually make that successful, because I'm looking at 5 years, 10 years down the road. Like, where are you going to be in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Let's start working on that right now so that you will achieve that in 10 years.
That's a great place to start, right? That's a
Yep.
great place to start. I also want to say hi to people who joined us: Nasser, John, Tammy, Nancy, and they're watching us. We're talking to Amit on what it takes to be successful in your business. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I will read them to Amit, and I'm sure he can shed some light on the answers.
Thank
So
you.
um, we are okay. So one of the first things then you ask people is, what is your goal in 5 years? So I mean, that's a great place to start. Write down your goals. What do you want to see happen in 5 years? So let's say it's 5 years from now. Where do you see yourself? Right?
Hmm. Yep.
That's okay. All right. Um,
Absolutely.
okay. So what's another question that people can start working on?
So then we start looking at what do they really like to do? What's their passion, right? And this is where they would want to do something that they would not want to get paid for. Okay, like for example, for me, I love to teach. I love to share the wisdom and the knowledge that I have gained myself. Like, I just love to teach, like speaking in front of crowds, speaking in front of
Oh, it looks like we lost Amit's connection for a second. I hope that we can get him back. Amit, we've lost your connection, my friend. If you can hear me, so oh,
I can hear you nice and clear.
okay, good. Amit, we lost you for a minute. So
Okay,
you were
I see.
talking about what is it you love to do? What are your passions?
Exactly, exactly. Because now that I know that what you want to achieve in 5 to 10 years, now we have to look at how to get you there, right? And if there is something that can be aligned with what your passion is and what you love to do, and if we can plug them together, then you will actually go through this entire phase very, very smoothly and fast.
I love that. Okay, this talk about your passion is what drives me, and I think we have a mutual friend, and his name is Ahmed Shah Duranai. Uh,
Yes,
Ahmed Shah runs a workshop called the Passion Test.
yes. Oh my goodness.
Actually, I loved taking that workshop, Amit, because it allowed me to pinpoint my life's top five passions. And
Wow.
I know it was fantastic. So, ever since I found out about my top five passions, any decisions I make, it has to align with my passions, and it's just
Awesome.
so important, right? Because everything we do in life, if we don't do it with passion, I feel like it's not worth it.
Right, right.
Is that Does that resonate with you?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because if you don't have that drive, generally you will come up with some excuse, you'll come up with some justification, and you will not do it.
It's true. True. Yes, it's true. And so imagine you have your passion, and it completely aligns with your business. That's just the best of both worlds.
That is the best of the both
Right.
worlds.
So we have a technical question from Nasser. Let me just put that up on the screen for you to see. I remember that they used to say for every dollar you invest, 90 cents should be spent on advertising. Is that true?
Every dollar that you invest, 90 cents should be spent on advertising. Is that true? No, actually, that's not true. I don't know where you got that data. So what I generally look at is we look at what the split up of the revenue is. And the general rule that you have to look at three things when you're looking at pricing. So this is coming to the question of pricing, and you're looking at the sale of the product. So one thing for you to note, there are three things. One is your cost. Okay, so for the cost for you to actually come up with the product. The second thing that you have is the price. So that's what the price, what the customer is paying for your product. And the third thing is the value. So the product may cost the client, $100, but the value for the client for that product is $500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these three things are very important that you start looking at for your product. And in terms of what you deliver to the client, what you need to look at is what is the split up of the entire cost that you're getting. So if you're looking at $100 product, right? So what you're getting is from the client, let's say, for example, the dollar amount that you're getting in terms of income is $100, then you need to split up a specific percentage in your business so that it is going partly towards the profits that you're making, partly towards your reserve, and then partly towards your sales and marketing. Okay. And the minimum that you keep for your sales and marketing is 35%.
35%.
35%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 35% goes to you as the owner, or as profits.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the actual ratio that you can start to keep in your business.
Okay. Going back to the question, I feel like marketing is such a big part of running a business, but as especially when times are tough, we feel like we need to be a little stingy with marketing budget, right? And so that's the first one that probably goes.
Yes, that's actually the biggest mistake.
Right?
That's the biggest mistake, because if the business is going down, you should spend more on marketing.
I
You
I
see, a lot of businesses, even right now, if you look at businesses, big businesses are not doing good. They're going under. They're declaring bankruptcy. Things are just chaotic right now. So the first thing, and you're so right when you said that people generally cut their marketing budgets when the budgets are tight. Okay, but the real thing to do is actually exactly opposite. You should, at that point of time, you should push your sales and marketing to the limit, because that's what your business needs right now. Your business needs income.
yes.
Okay, so that needs to be pushed. The moment you start getting sales in your business, your marketing starts to work in your business will be viable.
Oh my God, I just had an aha moment. You want to hear it?
Awesome.
Okay, so to me, um, taking care of your marketing is like self care for yourself. So if us as individuals, we need self care. And
Yes,
so, especially during crisis, when times are tough and we're going through something challenging, we need to even up that self care level. So, we need to spend more time for ourselves. We need to take care of our health, our body, our mind, and our spirit. So, I feel like taking care of your business and spending a little bit more mindful money and time on marketing it, it's like self care for your business. And you need to do more of that when times are tough, especially when times are in crisis.
exactly, exactly.
Does
That
that
is
make sense
perfect.
to you?
That's perfect. That makes total sense to me. Well done.
I mean, thank you. You can use that, by the way. In your Yeah, it makes total sense to me. Well, I mean, look at McDonald's. I mean, we go back to McDonald's because they're one of the most successful businesses in the whole entire world, and everybody knows them. They're still spending money on advertising, right?
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
okay, this is funny, but you may already know this. I heard from a marketing guru that McDonald's logo is more known, is more famous than the Holy Cross.
Wow.
Are you surprised by
That's crazy. That's believable, but it is crazy.
that,
My
right?
goodness.
I know. It's fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much for that question, Nasser, and I hope you got some answer on that. So um, now I'm gonna ask you, Amit, what happens if I mean, obviously, there are dangers in keeping a closed mind. Especially when you're in business, I feel like having an open mind to change and flexibility and adaptability is some strength
Hmm.
when you're owning your own business. Um,
Right.
so, how do you help people with that sort of mindset? That sort of transformation? How do you help?
So the main help that I offer in terms of being successful is not necessarily looking at always saying that, oh, you should be in business, you should never be working for someone. Okay, so i- i- you need to understand that working for someone is actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, it has got some bad reputation because of this whole Monday to Friday and thank God it's Friday, blah 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 concepts. But billionaires, like if you look at the billionaires of the universe, like how many billionaires have been created, do you know how many people are actually, if you look at the total number of billionaires, what percentage of billionaires actually work for someone else versus are in business for themselves? Do you have any idea?
No.
So it's actually 50%.
Oh wow.
So it's exactly 50. So 50% of billionaires actually work for someone else.
While they built their own business.
No, no, they just work for someone else. That's it. That's their way of making money.
Oh, they made their billions working for someone else.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. Because the thing is, you have to look at a business differently than what you look at as an employee situation. And I hear that so many times, oh, my employer decides this thing, my employer decides this thing, so I have very limited things that I can do in my employment. But I will tell you, there is always a way for you to contribute more and get paid for it, and actually to get paid for it.
I love that. I love
So
it.
it don't
Yes.
feel that if you are an employee that, oh my God, that's it, life is over, and I have to be a business owner and I have to start something of my own and all that. And if you want, if you have made that decision that you want to be an entrepreneur and be a business owner, perfect, go for it. But if you want to continue yourself as an employee, there are lots of options that you can actually do to be an amazing employee and actually make more money as an employee than even being an entrepreneur.
Right? Because you can also do something that you're passionate about, and you can feel accomplished.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, think of it, Della. If you have an amazing business right now, like you're doing so good, and you have a popular brand right now that's growing. Imagine if there was an employee that you had hired, right? And this is, we're talking like real stuff. Like, let's imagine that this is real for you, right? If you have an employee right now that comes to you and says, hey Dela, you know what, I've seen that your business is growing and you are expanding, doing some amazing things. I have some idea that I want to work in your with you in your business. Okay, so he or she, let's say they are your employee. But what I'll do is, let's do some role play. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll be that employee, so to say. Okay,
Okay.
and I come to you and say, Della, you know what? I know that you have this amazing brand, you're growing amazingly well. I have an idea that we can actually explode your business. I have some brilliant ideas, and I have the ideas how to do it also. You actually don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Okay, I will do everything. I will use my own ideas. Okay, and I will still continue to work under your umbrella because you are the one that has that brand. Okay, my only ask is that whatever income we generate through this particular area in your business, that you pay me a certain percentage.
Yeah. Works.
Okay, so the percentage again is negotiable depending on how much hours are required and all that. But the whole point is that you and any actually growing business will be open to this type of a proposal.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they will be taking a certain percentage of what that new business has been generated,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Absolutely.
crazy how many successful people have actually done it this way, that I will create. Now they do need ideas. They need some training as to how to do that, because I have a couple of people that I'm training right now. They're actually employees. Okay, so I'm actually giving them some strategies how they can be good employees. They don't want to open their own business. They don't want to be entrepreneurs, but there are some things that you can use even in that employee phase that you are in to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you have successful employees, you have a successful business and
Of course,
thriving business.
100%.
Right?
100%. Yes.
Yes. I can totally see that how that would happen.
And
Uh,
employers will love you, like your business owner, your boss, whoever it is, they will fall in love with you if you do something like this for them, right? Because essentially don't have to come up with ideas, they don't have to do anything new, they just have to support you in what you're doing.
mhm.
You are the one that's doing the work and getting that extra paid, for using that humongous brand that you already have, that working for you.
It's a win-win for everybody.
It's 100%.
What comes to my mind is that sometimes as we develop our businesses, we are, again, going back to, you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. So you think you're doing everything perfectly, and you don't want to risk that. You don't want to, right? I'm sure you've met people like that.
Yes.
They think they're doing it the perfect way, and so they don't necessarily bring a big team, and they don't train the big team because they don't believe that anyone could do it as well as they do. So,
Yes.
if you have encountered situations like this, what's the danger in something like that? I mean,
Well, the danger is that they will never grow. They will never go. The expansion is actually impossible if you have that particular mindset that, you know what, I'm not going to change my business. I'm just going to be limited as to what I can do, right? Because anything in terms of system, and it doesn't even have to be employees. It could be people on contract that you hire for a specific project and for a specific number of months or number of days even, right? But you need to start leveraging the moment you decide to expand, right? The
what do you
problem
mean
why
by leveraging? I mean, could you
say that
expand on that? What do you mean by
yeah so
leverage?
so leverage, essentially, how does expansion really work is if you are doing all the things, like of course when I started my businesses I was doing everything, right? All the 21 things that I need to do in businesses, I was wearing all those hats, right? Oh, now I'm a salesman, I take that, now I'm a finance guy, now I'm doing this, so it's me all the time,
Yes.
right? And as the business starts to grow, now I have sort of people on contract. Now I have certain people that do certain roles in my business, but I am the one that have decided what role this guy plays, or this lady plays, or this kid plays in my business,
Hmm.
right? And if I don't allow that, the problem is not that the person cannot do it. This is the most craziest thing. It's not that the person cannot do it, it's basically you as a owner of the business did not train them well enough. Okay, because remember, there is nothing called as a bad student, there is only a bad teacher,
Yes. Yes.
right? So
You're
the fact that your employees are not performing some things that they're supposed to, there is some problem that either they have which needs to be corrected, or they did not get trained properly in the first place.
yes. Yes. Absolutely. You're so right. Um,
They yeah, those problems can be handled. Actually, those are some of the easiest problems to handle. The main thing is for a business owner to be ready to do these things, to actually have a plan to, okay, how am I going to train my employees, what is it that I'm expecting for the contractor, having those specific things outlined in their business for it to grow.
I mean, I always talk about the three A's of recovery. And so,
Okay.
it works for every situation in life, and it works perfectly well here. If you're in a business and that it's just not working for you, this will also work. The three A's are like this. The first A is for admit. Admit that there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The second A is for ask. Ask for help. Hire that coach. Hire that transformational business coach. Reach out to people like Amit. The third A is take action. And
Nice.
that's a very important part. But all three, the three A's, I think that works perfectly in this scenario.
Yes, that's so true. Wow, I love the three A's. Well done, Ella.
Thank
That's really good.
you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. That's my 2 cents. So,
That
I mean, people can reach you at on your website, yourprofoundsolutions.com. They can also reach out to you on Facebook, Instagram.
that's right. Yes.
Okay. Do you have, and I know you have tons of free stuff that you have available on your website for people. But what if someone were to reach you through this program and they wanted to get in contact with you and say, "Hey, I saw you on Della's Voice.
Yes.
Could you cut me a break?" What would you? Do you have something bonus of
Okay.
for
You know
them?
what I can do, especially because I want to help your audience specifically. I have a special workbook that is not mentioned anywhere on my website. So it is only available to some of my one-on-one clients. So it's a very intense workbook that I've created. And what I'll do is, if somebody approaches me directly or through you, saying that they heard me on your program, Dela's Voice, I will actually give them that workbook for free.
You're the man.
Thank you.
That's I think that's very generous of you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, let's welcome a couple more people who joined. I see them on Facebook. Henrik, thank you for watching, and Ahmed, thank you for watching. I wanted to give you a few more minutes to let you leave the audience with whatever words you want to leave them with.
Sure. So I want to emphasize the quick training that I'm doing, actually, because it's hard for you to get the information just on a 10-15 minute sort of glimpses that I'm giving you when I'm answering different questions. If you do want the whole thing, if you want to understand the whole aspect in one particular area of your business, then the best thing would be for you to join my training. It's a free training that I'm doing. It's a 90-minute training that I'm doing, and I do it almost on a weekly basis. And I handle different areas in your business. So you can join me. You can find that link. This is the actual link. It's yourprofoundsolutions.com/secrets. Okay, that's the actual link. You can go to that link directly, and I can put it on our chat to here later. Or if Della, you want to add that, that's fine too. But it's a 90-minute, and this is where I start to address specific issues that businesses have.
Sorry,
And
can
the
you say that again after
secrets,
.com/secrets? Okay.
yeah. And this is not a recorded thing. I do this training live because I want to address what's going on right now in the world. I want to address the problems that entrepreneurs and business owners are facing today as we speak. So it's not something, the videos that I've created 2 years ago, and now they may not be applicable. Okay, these trainings that I do are actually live with audience, and there is a lot of interaction between me and the attendees. So they get to sort of interact with me. They don't see me face to face because it's a training setup, but I do a lot of chat, and they can see what my comments are, and they can actually chat. So it's a very interactive training for entrepreneurs to follow and to join me on that.
I think that's great. You do a lot of things for free, Amit. This is amazing. You give so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And actually, that's the need of the time, Della. Like, I was not doing all this before. Like, I started this about 5 months ago, is where I totally ramped up the value that I'm offering to the clients for free. And the only reason why I started to do that is because I see the need today. I see a huge, huge need today that businesses and entrepreneurs need this information for them to be not just sustain themselves, but to be viable.
And I can see how you're looking at the big picture here, right?
Thank you.
Yes, it takes big minds to look at the bigger picture, and this is something I heard that deserves to be said here. To deserve is to serve, and you doing that, you serving
Wow. Thank you.
humanity,
Thank you,
and
Della.
you deserve all the bits and pieces of every piece of success that you're getting. So I
Thank you. Thank
totally
you.
appreciate that. You have no idea what is meant for me to get to know you on this platform. I have so much respect for you and for your wife Swapna, for not just for everything you do for others, but the tenacity it took for the two of you to get to this point of your life so that you can benefit the rest of the world. I
Thank you.
totally respect that. And
Thank you, Della. Thank you so much. Those words are really, really valuable, and I know how genuinely you're saying this, and that's what really matters to me.
thank
So
you.
thank you, and I want to appreciate your platform and your audience and the amazing work that you've been doing, because the level of communication that you have actually also stepped up to, perform and deliver is truly amazing. Like this platform that you've created is so professional, it's so genuine, and also it's so wanted and needed right now. So you are so much on this amazing path of progress. Like I can feel the vibrations even through this online platform about how genuine you are. So amazing, amazing, amazing. Keep up the good work, and my really, really best wishes are with you.
I totally appreciate it. And we're out of time. Otherwise, I'm sure that we could have this conversation going for another hour. I actually see one more question. Should we answer it? Do you have time to answer one more question?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
okay for
Sure,
you? Okay.
sure, no
Oh,
problem.
I hate to put you on the spot. I don't know if you have other commitments after this, but one more question, and then I don't want to
Sure.
leave you hanging. Don't you? The question is, don't you think that big businesses are destroying small businesses?
Oh, wow. That's a very, very good question.
Mm,
That's a very good question. So that is actually 100% true. So Nasser is, I think, the person that's asking this question. I see on my side here. That's a very, very good question, and that is 100% true. But the only reason why a big business will eat up a small business is if they are in direct competition with them. Okay, as a small business you cannot and you should not. A smart thing for you to do if you are running a small business is not to go in direct competition with the big guy, because you'll never win.
mm-hmm,
You will never win. Like you think about small thing, like if you look at the smallest thing like Facebook ads, right? If there is Best Buy who's doing an Facebook ad for iPhones, and you small guy, you started a business of iPhones, Best Buy is going to kill you because they have a budget of millions of dollars a month on Facebook ads, whereas probably a small business owner has a budget of $500 a month or even $10 a month.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So small businesses need to find out something that big businesses are actually not offering. You have to identify that gap, and that's the main secret of how small businesses will actually thrive. Even though no matter how big businesses are still existing, they will actually thrive if they follow this simple principle.
mm-hmm. And I can think of, as you're talking, I can think of a couple of things that big businesses in no way could offer,
Exactly, exactly.
relatively speaking. So thank you so much. I don't want to keep you longer than this. I know that you have other commitments. I mean, thank you
Thank you. Yes.
again for being here today. And I hope that everybody enjoyed this talk as much as I did. And I benefited from this so much. I
Thank you.
learn so much when I talk to my guests, and it's like, oh, this is it's perfect. It's perfect. I'm living my passion, and I know.
Awesome.
Thank you. And I know that you wear your heart on your sleeves when you do this, and you help people, and you thrive because other people thrive in their businesses, and that's a win-win for you. And I can see that as you talk, and
Thank you.
I want to acknowledge you, and I want to appreciate you. So if there's anything else, Amit, please let the audience know.
No, that's great. I mean, great interview. Thank you again for your time, Della. This was really, really amazing to have this conversation with you. And I'm looking forward to, sharing many more interactions, conversations, and sharing more value with each other, actually. And looking forward to be on your show, you joining us on some of our programs and being a guest for us. So we're looking forward to a lot more associations with you.
Same here. Thank you so much. And so, for
Thank
everyone who watched us today, I want to thank you for your time and listening to this podcast. I want to encourage you to please share this with people that you think might benefit from this talk. And also, take what you want and leave the rest. And as always, this has been another Della's Voice, hoping to spark your soul. Take care. Till next time. Bye, Amity.
thank you.